welcome back to my channel, Abiding in Him Daily. Today I am so excited about the video that I have for you today, and I'm so happy to have you all here. Welcome to all my new subscribers. And as you can see, I'm in my kitchen, so I have another recipe for you guys today, and I'm really excited about this recipe for various reasons. But number one, it is one that I created, and it helps you get in your good carbs on Trim Healthy Mama. So it's the coveted e-meal, helps you to get that in. And I fashioned this recipe after one of my favorite restaurants. It is a Japanese steakhouse here in the Midwest. It's called Benihana, but there are several throughout the country and they go by various names. The recipe that I'm bringing for you today is the Hibachi rice, the one that they make on the grill in front of you, and they put all those good vegetables in it, and it's spicy and it's garlicky and it's just wonderful. So that's what I have for you today, but I did make it trim and healthy for you. And it also marks the first recipe that I am posting on my new, are you ready? Drum roll. My new website. Yes. I'm so excited. It's a new journey for me. I realize that it is difficult for my loves, you loves out there, to download my recipes on only my videos. And so now this will enable you to not only copy them, share them, pin them, anything you want to do out in the internet world, you'll be able to do it because my recipes now have a home, and that is on Abidinginghimdaily.com. I'm so excited about this new journey, and I will be posting there fairly frequently. I will be talking about cooking, Trim Healthy Mama, my journey on Trim Healthy Mama as I have crossed over another milestone, and I just met my 2-year Trim-iversary on July 1st, and I'll have another video coming up with that really soon. And so, not to keep my introduction going too long, I'm going to go ahead and get cooking in the kitchen for you guys. So just hang on, keep on watching, and I'll walk you through the recipe. Okay, loves, we will start this process by sorting and washing our greens. We will remove any parts that don't look edible or fresh, being careful to wash them thoroughly, making sure there is no grit left behind. So here you'll see me just looking for any parts of the greens that don't look edible, and I will remove those. I have collards and turnips here that I am washing, and which I will wash and let the water out a couple times, just making sure that they are thoroughly washed. Okay, next we will remove all of the stems and begin chopping them into bite-sized pieces. I'll be using my Miracle Blade, the Rock and Chop. I love this knife. As you can see, I am cutting with one hand and even holding the camera in this clip, and the knives are so phenomenal. It just makes it easy and seamless. So I'm removing the bottom stems, but I will later go back and take the stems all the way off when I'm ready to make them into bite-sized pieces. Right now I'm just removing the bottom stems and sorting them, then I'll go back. So then we will chop the rest of the vegetables into small pieces. Here you can see what I have. I have peppers, onions, mushrooms, squash, which are all nutrient dense foods, which is very important to me now on my journey. I have all of these vegetables selected here: some parsley, some radishes, celery. You can add what you prefer. I have then added these to some non-stick pans to start the steaming process with no added oil, which is very important. we are making an e-meal and we don't want to add unnecessary oil. So we will just be steaming with the water from the vegetables. I've prepared some brown rice according to the package instructions, omitting any oil and adding only salt to taste. The exact measurements will be listed in the description box below. As you can see, I have 2 separate pans, but it's because I'm making a large batch. You can put this all in one pan if you like, as I will be doing later in the video. These are the seasonings I'll be using: sea salt, Mrs. Dash's salt-free original blend, onion powder, and another no salt seasoning blend from Costco. I will later add the star of the show, which is garlic powder. On a medium to high heat, I'll steam all the vegetables down and then begin adding some cabbage to my greens. As you can see here, that's what the white stuff is. Some cabbage that I've chopped and washed in the same fashion. So now you'll see, as I said earlier about the one pan, just adding it all into one pan after it steams down. It's not necessary to separate anything except for the squash, and I'll show you that later here in just one moment. Once I get everything combined, you'll see what I mean. The squash tends to get very limp and mushy if it's overcooked, and that's the only reason why I separated that. So I'm just combining everything now that it's steamed down to a small enough batch where I can add them to one pan. Just doing some more stirring. Like I said, I only have a little bit of water in the pan, no oil. More stirring, just making sure everything is getting steamed down evenly. And from time to time I will add a top to this and let it steam down a little more. So then on high heat, I am stir frying my squash for 1 to 2 minutes, just until it's cooked lightly, but still preserving the crunch. Like I said, we don't want it to get mushy. Okay, so just stir fry that for a couple minutes. And the seasonings that I used in the original pan of vegetables, I also added it to the squash to make sure that the flavor is consistent throughout the entire dish. So just gonna continue to stir fry that just a minute longer. And all of this will finally be combined together, so it doesn't matter that I'm using the same spoon. The squash will go then with those other vegetables right at the end, just as long as I know that the consistency is right for each vegetable. So getting that well mixed there. And as you can see, the consistency of those vegetables have really changed. It's really softened up quite a bit. So finally, I have my spinach here, and we are going to add it to our greens because they cook very quickly. So, and this is really all in the 1 to 2 minute process for the squash. I'm showing it kind of slow here, but really this is going fairly quickly. So I'm adding my spinach just until it wilts. So we're going to let it get soft, just change a little darker in color. Then eventually we will be down to 1 pan of vegetables. Again, I will say, if you can do this all in 1 pan except for the squash, because you're not cooking such a large quantity, by all means just go ahead and do it all in 1 pan. I made a super large batch in this video for my family because we like to use it for leftovers, and we use our steamed vegetables in other dishes as well. So just mixing that spinach in, like I said, not overcooking it, just giving it enough time to wilt and just change in color a little bit. Okay, so now you see I have another little pan here that I'm just spraying with some cooking spray. I've already put my zucchini and everything into that one pan, and now I'm going to add some protein to this dish. So for protein, I'm going to cook up some egg whites for you, and you definitely need some protein when you're having good carbs to slow down the way that carbs affect your blood sugar. So now I'm adding the star of the show here, some garlic powder into the eggs, but even though it was not in the earlier footage, the garlic has been added throughout because it's a very important ingredient. I'm also going to add some onion powder. The garlic is so important just so that it can taste authentic. That's one thing I love about the hibachi rice at Benihana is the garlic butter, and they even give you extra on the side if you want it. So although we can't add tons of butter to this because we're keeping it trim and healthy, not mixing too many carbs and fats, we are going to add the garlic to compensate. So I'm just stirring up those egg whites and just getting them until they are done. I did mention in the intro you could also add some other lean protein to this dish. I did not add it in the video, but at times we do add some chicken breast that has been pretty much steamed in the pressure cooker, not fried or anything as well. So just finishing up those egg whites. Make sure, like I said, that everything is consistently seasoned throughout the entire dish. That's something you really want to do when you're working with carbs and they don't have a lot of fat in them, because fat adds the flavor. You want to make sure your seasonings are up to par. So now this is the final step. We're going to go ahead and plate up our dish. We're going to start with 3/4 cup of rice. Now the rice that is in the pot was just made according to the package instructions, but you can also put it in a pan to give it more of a hibachi taste and some cooking spray. So here I am getting some grass-fed butter, and we're going to add a teaspoon of the butter. This is the brand that I use, Kerrygold. We're going to use a teaspoon of the butter, just 1 teaspoon of fat to that 3/4 cup of rice, and we're going to let that melt. Everything is nice and hot, so remember, just keep the heat going so that your butter will melt. If not, you can reheat it. More garlic, because that's the star of the show. And as you can see, the steam is rising off of there, just mixing that butter in very good. Gonna add some veggies on top of that, and now our egg whites. Alright, so got that all together, and the final step will be to add some liquid aminos. I was out at the time, and so I had soy sauce, but liquid aminos would be better. It is preferred for a trim healthy mama. So just mix that all up together, and so that everything has the flavors well mixed there, and then you're good to go. You can add some chicken breast like I said, but that's the dish. I hope you guys do enjoy it. We absolutely love it, and please do leave me a comment below and let me know.